in this round one. It will be Montpellier to get us underway against that man who, as a boy, was very much part of the Montpellier scene, now in Northampton colours. And these Montpellier players know that there will be a coaching change at the end of the season. Unsettling, it has to be a bit, but the modern player seems to keep the head down and accept this is all part and parcel of the game now. And it's heads down for more European glory for Montpellier after their Challenge Cup triumph last season. But this really should be a tough start for both sides. Groom and Myler, the new half-back combination. Groom having arrived from South Africa, and that's a solid start.
Yeah, interesting half-back combination. Nick Groom, very much a left footer, typical South African kicking scrum half, very similar to the man playing against him, the Australian Nick White, of course, who played a brilliant part when Australia were the last team to beat the All Blacks.
Go 2 metres.
Very much a kicking scrum half, so too Groom.
Scored a try in that game, but it's a Northampton steal at the line-out. Malander, George Peacey. They've been creating but not finishing. It's the bottom line to Northampton this season. They want to change that. That was Ben Foden. Kieran Brooks.
Release, White, move!
Good work from the tight head. Groom in there. Elects to kick. Benjamin Fowle, the fullback and captain this evening, will field this. And he'll slice it as well.
Well, that was one to Groom. Very early side of that left foot. He keeps it pretty low, hits it flat. First line-up for Montpellier. Set piece, such a key in their game, but it's an immediate still there. The Saints doing very well, and the press isn't really that quick there. Dumoulin waits for George Peacey to come to him. It's a very front foot ball there for the Saints, and Benjamin Fall's just given them a great position.
It was Patterson with the steal at the line out, but Northampton might have just gifted it away, but it's play on. It's not gone forward. And here's George North. 3 tries in the Aviva Premiership this season. Sam Dickinson, who's been filling in at lock, only a back rower.
Good man.
Christian Day also out, and now Courtney Laws as well. Here comes Malander, saw some space, and gets the ball out onto Pickamal's. Inside it goes. What a start this could be if Clark can get it down.
Try.
And they're claiming that he has. He looks happy enough.
Is that it is? Kais yn iawn? Dim eisiau checo. Lovely job.
It's a try, no need to check. Great start for Northampton. Malander saw the space and went straight into it, and then the hands after that from the big man. Excellent.
Well, what Harry Malander did so well there, he just ran straight in the gap. Dumoulin was pulled in, PS Beast with him, one man through 2 defenders, and then we saw Pickamal's brilliant offloading game. Watch Malander now, after this pass between 2, very wide defence, and then the offload, wonderful little inside flip there, tremendous play. Malander has this ability, big, tall, stretch, rangy inside centre, through the 2 men, over the top, and then this is wondrous there, little right-handed inside flick there from Pickamal. Superb score. Over the top from the centre, underneath from the flanker. Callum Clark just about gets it there.
Talking the week about how he's feeling his way back after all that time out. Well, he'll feel back now. Right into the thick of it. Here's Myler. And that might be taken again. It is. Bit of an early charge there from Fred Stein.
I'm sure you're quite aware that is not acceptable and not in the spirit of the game. You do not shout when you charge down. We'll take it again. The charge on is now void.
Oh, it's for the verbals.
Please tell them no charge down.
Well, you see the sprint, but it's about the voice.
Reese, Quinn, tell them no charge down.
Screams miss. Myler does, but he gets a second chance.
Might have been a bit quick out of the blocks as well, but that was marginal. What wasn't marginal in the referee's mind was the language used. Well, he had a sighter, and it proved very useful. Stephen Myler, record point scorer in the Premiership for Northampton. Pretty hot on the heels of Paul Grayson. They've had two machines at number 10 when it comes to kicking. And Callum Clark, the try scorer.
You left again, Ben.
Great start for a team that has been lacking tries.
Just a lack of intensity from Montpellier, and Northampton have punished them. And as you say, for a team who haven't been scoring tries, what an early boost.
Hughes. Stay.
And Myler again. That's how the game started.
Nice and uncomplicated there.
Scott Quinnell, gain line.
Yeah, it's a wonderful run here by Malander. Let's just have a look. He comes there, no problem at all. Straightens, goes hard, and then has a wonderful offload to pick him also on the outside. Well played.
Line it over, yes. Stay there.
Montpellier.
Back, boys.
Try and get a maul going here.
Next stop is Hughes, okay?
That big Georgian influence, South African influence will enjoy this.
Through the middle, fine.
And it's good use of the big pack.
And Hughes.
What Northampton knew was coming their way today. Stein offloading into midfield. In goes Nick White.
Off your feet, he's on.
Really well there.
Taking his own body weight and entitled to do
There's
that.
no ruck form. Off your feet.
And Malander, just 20 years of age still, put a lot into that kick and it gets its reward.
In touch, Nige.
Just. Superb touch there from Pickermole. Tries given, but let's just check. Does Callum Clark get there? Benjamin Fall and Nick White are doing all they can to stop him.
Here's Myler. And Pickermole's
Vantage, White, blocked
lost
on.
that one in the tackle.
Your hands away.
White. Stein, he's a big kicking option himself, but this time it's a runaway with 4.
Hands away. Vantage over now.
And White turns to the referees to say, why do you have to say it then? Advantage over as he finds a non-too distant touch. So let's just complete the try. Did Clark complete it?
I think the ball is on the line. Does he ground it? Yes, he does. I think Mike Hayward comes in, you know, to make sure that ball hits the surface.
There is Hayward throwing in to Clark. That not so good as the try scoring moment.
No, if you have enough time to get the numbers, then no problem. Okay, if you do, then you get the numbers. Okay. Go here,
Well, it's been a slow start for Montpellier.
in the line out,
They will
sure
see
the
this
guy
scrum
comes
as an
to get the ball
opportunity
from
to
you.
try and
Don't long
impose
arm
their
it, you know,
game.
back, please.
4 Georgians in a front 5.
Hey, our standard
Couple
from
of
the
South
scrum.
Africans. It's a meaty old set piece.
Keep the
And
space.
if you're going to beat Northampton at the Gardens, you have to take them on in the set piece. You have to challenge their scrum. You have to win the gain line. At the moment, we haven't had the scrums to find out the answer to that. On the gain line, Northampton have been waltzing over it.
4 Georgians, 3 South Africans and 1 Frenchman in this pack. And it's Northampton putting the heat on there. Here is Stein. Runs into Myler.
Release, Black.
The top offloader in the top 14 this season, Franz Stein, but he didn't really get a chance there. White looking slippery. But Dickinson getting back at him.
Hughes.
Stein is going to act as the halfback here. A Botica.
Stay. Okay.
Of course, was involved in that rather controversial end to the Challenge Cup final in Harlequins colours last season, moving over to Montpellier. There's Clark, and Myler and Malander. It's good awareness by Malander to find Myler again. Well involved in the back line. George North takes them on.
Advantage.
Waller can't take it a second
Not
time.
on Black. Advantage.
Callum Clark was there again. It's great to see him back.
Advantage
A player
over.
has been out for so long, over a year. And the roll takes it away from Foden. Stuart.
2 sides there of Nick White. A couple of minutes ago, Northampton would have been delighted to see the Australian scrum half running backwards and forwards, not really knowing where he's going to go. He's a kicking scrum half, and if Northampton could keep him just running around like this, they'll love that. But then he's got a good platform. Northampton don't have anyone in the short side. He'll roll that ball into the corner all night long.
Down from Wood. Went to the front after the not straight before, just to play it safe, also
Stay
because of
up
the
now,
geography
Rack.
where the play is. Understand that totally.
Hughes.
Groom has the passing option and takes it. And now it's time for the scrum half to kick. And the pressure was good from Montpellier.
Yeah, Montpellier will be delighted with that. They didn't really allow Northampton to make any yardage
You're in,
there.
mate. Set the
Forced
gap.
Groom off the left foot with no real angle to just poke that ball 10 metres
2 metres, please.
upfield. And now a chance for
That's the
Montpellier
middle.
to exercise
There.
some pressure. Now Kashvili, a wild card hooker, of course, for Bismarck Duplessis, who's out. Big boots to fill.
That's okay. Play. That's
Silent
okay.
Glasgow fans will
Marginal
remember
play.
Shalva Mamukashvili.
Once.
Finds himself now filling in with the injury to Bismarck.
Go,
Duplessis,
go, we know
Stuart
where it
saying.
is.
Also,
Go, we know
Charles
where it
Jelly
is.
is out injured at the moment, so
Next stop is ball
gone
comes.
hurtling up the charts. There he is, part of the drive. Alongside Mariashvili and Kurashvili. 3 Georgians in the front row. Here's Nick Groom. Franz Stein, supported by equally large Dumoulin. It's a very big centre pairing for Northampton tonight. Talking of size, there goes Willemse. In goes White. With the blonde hair of Jacques Duplessis, the back rower, former blue ball. That's Pierre Spies, who plays rugby in those parts as well. And there goes Willemse. This is just all that power, and Malander nips it. Picks the pocket right at the end.
Well, until Harry Malander saved the day, that was just brutal from Montpellier. Wonderful play. From the very moment that big Franz Stein took it on the gain line and just crashed over, the forwards just got involved there. Willemse has been so strong as well, and Malander saves them just when you think Ndolo is going to get that first try for Montpellier. Great comeback from the Saints defensively, but that was a real warning there from Montpellier. That is what they can do. They can pop that ball on the gain line, and it's very hard to stop them going forward.
And the man waiting for the scoring pass, Imani Nandolo, just to add to the power. He looks like a forward, he is a winger.
Two of the most exciting wings in world rugby. Ndolo, we saw glimpses of him in the World Cup in Fijian colours. It's been the Crusaders that he has dazzled so much. George North, in this hemisphere, regarded very much probably as the superstar of back play. I think everybody who's following the Lions will be hoping that that man stays fit, because if there's one banker, a fit George North will be playing against the All Blacks, and there's not many players in this hemisphere who the All Blacks would say, oh, he worries us. This bloke can.
Both wearing 11, but at some stage we have to hope they meet tonight, because that will be some collision.
Numbers, please.
Ndolo tends to stick to his wing a little bit more. George North, he waits for loose kicks, thrives coming in field.
Thrown by Maukashvili to Willemse. Man of the match in the Challenge Cup final against Harlequins. Held by the hooker. And the drive is on again. Tom was trying to get back there. And there's a worried face there from Alex Waller. He knows what's coming here. Just short. In goes White. It's a matter of centimetres now. And the cries from Montpellier that they think they've scored.
I'm out. How do you go, lads? Tell me, go.
But if there's a camera that can see that, it needs to be on the line itself.
Ominous though, wasn't it? I mean, that was
Tim, check out an interview, please. Also, when try Ian and Ars now, we know a penalty or okay? Yeah, please. Yeah. Try yes or no.
The beast is awake. We saw them offloading on the gain line. We saw them driving their second gear grind towards the Northampton line. There's the ball tucked under the right arm. At this moment it hasn't reached the try line.
They've beaten out so far.
There's the ball, but where's the line?
I'm very ready.
Any more angles, gentlemen?
Montpellier trying to locate it there on the floor, but
yes
that is proving nothing at this stage. And the question is yes or no, not any reason. That's short of the line there. And then try and put it over or on it.
I'm bringing him, yeah? Nah, the beat.
Checking if that's all the angles.
Is that all the angles, Tim?
Okay, that's all the angles.
Okay. Tim Keisner.
Tim Keisner.
Okay. There's no try. There's no advantage in from the side of the maul, okay? Penalty against you.
This is going back into the corner.
The side of the maul. Time on.
Just the shape of the players on the floor when the whistle went. And Montpellier claimed the try. He sort of knew it was going to be very difficult for the evidence to be supplied by the camera. And that's the way it turned out. Long. But they still have this chance.
Well, this is Northampton's nightmare tonight. Too much of the game being played in their 22, because Montpellier don't have to take risks. They win the ball, they can drive.
Let him say again. Here they go again.
Once.
Northampton will be very worried about this, even though they lead 7-0. White forced to use it, floats it to Stein. Stein nearly getting through the tackle there of Nanda.
White side entry.
But Montpellier might have given away a try here, a penalty here. Call of side entry there to the referee from his assistant. But on go Montpellier. And there is Willemse. North pulled in off the wing. He realises that they've got to try and cover all bases. And there is the penalty for holding on.
First man in on his feet. 13.
Manuel might have rejected the first call from his assistant, but he's pretty adamant. He knows his own mind there, the referee, as he always does.
Before anything else, until the 14 was in on his feet, if you release.
Bold defence from Northampton there. One of the problems though with Montpellier, they're very hard to stop, but when you know where it's coming from, you can at least turn your shoulders in and prepare for the big hit. When Nick White tried to change the point of attack and go wide, the pass was horrible and it just slowed it down. Northampton are facing in, they expect the attack, but that's a slow pass. It enables Franz Stein to be caught behind the gain line. George Peacey's done a great job defensively there. Brilliant.
Okay, we'll do.
Down from Wood. Myler crossfield. Ken Peacey is chasing and climbing as well, but Nandolo plucks it out the air beautifully. Great work for the big man. Lukashvili. Driven backwards. Powerfully. It's a bit of a statement now.
Advantage.
Wood has
Came
been
through and
dumped.
played the 9. Advantage.
It was Northampton coming through,
Came through
on
and
the
played the 9.
half-back.
Get out of there.
That's the issue. Alex Waller.
I'm beat him.
Well, in several Premiership games this season, Northampton haven't really been as aggressive at the breakdown as they could be. They've been a little bit too passive. They have allowed the opposition to dominate that part of the game, the breakdown. But today they're taking risk, but they are really throwing men and they're throwing weight at the breakdown. Nick White hit hard there. Waller looks a little bit harshly treated there. And Tom Wood gets a semi-spear, shall we call it, from Jacques Duplessis. You watch the left hand of the number 7 there, lifts up Wood, but he's not spearing him into the ground. He's taking him out of the way and he's bringing him down to earth.
Owens was having a good look on the giant screen.
Well, the initial half of it, Miles, looked bad, didn't it? It looked a little bit like Matt Tamua last night in the Glasgow-Leicester game. But then when you carry on, you could see that he was brought down and Duplessis held him.
I have the penalty for you for coming through and playing the 9, but then I cannot allow play to continue when he lifts the leg like that and just drops him down, okay? It's just a penalty and it's nothing more, but you can't lift people like that in the mall, okay? So now I have to reverse the penalty because of your action, okay?
Duplessis, the ex-discus thrower back in South Africa. And he resisted the javelin, but he has got himself in a spot of bother. I think the referee's right.
Well, yeah,
Can't allow that to happen, really. And certainly when it gets so noticed by not just the viewers at home, but everybody in the crowd these days can see it on the giant screen, and the reaction drew the referee's attention to it.
It was the initial act, wasn't it? Had he let him go, he probably would have seen yellow. As it is, Jake White will be thinking that is a really soft 3-point opportunity to give away.
Just what we've got you here. Matt Tamua last night, yellow or red on the big debate.
Yellow. I'm aware of how awful it looks and how dangerous it can be. But sometimes I just think there's an automatic reaching for a red card that worries me in games.
I may not see things that are just off the ball. So let's try and pick those up ourselves, please, okay?
Myler trying to make Duplessis pay, and he does. That's a very welcome 3 points when you think how the previous 5 or 10 minutes have gone. Montpellier almost getting that try, then blowing it in midfield with the poor pass. And it's Northampton who get the 3 points after that passage of play.
That's a very useful swing for the home team. A really good swing.
And Myler deep again, not allowing any chance for the charge down. We shall charge off to the game line.
Good defence by Northampton there, but it all started. Let's have a look. There's Harry Mallinder. He's going to come out in the line. Williams is going there. You think he's going in? Oh, but he does. He gets back. Does very, very well to get back into that line. Saves the day.
Remember how he started in this competition last season. Came in and was man of the match against Glasgow and the Scarlets in rounds 5 and 6. What an introduction for a young man. Here's Duplessis. Dealt with correctly, just placed on the floor. White.
Backwards, back.
And again, I think Marvin O'Connor wearing 14 there, the right winger for Montpellier, has touched
Lost
the ball
away,
yet.
Black, lost!
Good job, it's not a cold night. White. Dumoulin feeds Spies. Over 50 caps for the Springboks. White, Australian international. Dumoulin again. O'Connor's got involved. Until he meets Alex Waller. Saints' defence is good.
I mean, that's gained 20 metres there from a Montpellier perspective. That kick from Nick White has just eased the pressure from a Northampton point of view. Mikey Hayward's a really good line-out throw-up. They've got a solid set piece there. And quite frankly, Northampton have been given a bit of an out here.
Repeat fe os ti'n wir bod rhaid i fi fe, ti'n Huh? Okay.
Hayward. Again to Wood. Here's Marvin O'Connor again. Benjamin Fowle. Oh, that's great running for the fullback. Brilliant run. And he finds Batut. The Frenchman coming to the fore. Three in the side. Duplessis. A little bit panicky. Does it need to be? Well, it's quick at least. And Steyn offloads. Spies.
Last pass forward here.
But it's gone forward. And as we have this little break in play, let's go to Graham Simmons, who's got Sean Stowby with him, who's on the Montpellier coaching staff, of course. Graham.
Miles, thank you very much. 10-0, Sean. Is that a fair reflection on what you've seen so far?
I don't think so. I think the chance that Northampton have had, they've converted. And we've had 2 or 3 chances close to the line, which we haven't converted. So it's all about being efficient, which we haven't been. But we're putting the pressure on, and hopefully we'll get some rewards soon.
To put it politely, you haven't had the rub of the green officiating-wise. Was Northampton's try a try, and should yours over there have been one?
I don't know. I'm disappointed we didn't score, whether it's intervention of the referee or not. I just think we've got to keep clubbing away, putting the pressure on, and hopefully we'll get something.
All right, Sean, thank you very much.
And you can see very much the plan. It runs through the boot of Nick White. It's all about territory and all about pressing.
Their ball, pass just forward, okay?
Beautiful counter-attack from Benjamin Fowle. When they get the squeeze on, they're sort of like a Gallic poor man's version of Saracens, if you like. They play you deep, and then they hope the pressure gets so great that their back three can counter-attack. And Benjamin Fowle, great pace, scythe-in break, and suddenly they've got a broken field, and that's what they look for. But then the precision not there. It wasn't there, close range with the line-outs. It wasn't quite there in that broken field. If they get that right and they keep possession and they play territory, it's going to be a tough old night for Northampton.
Keep the pressure off, okay? Shoulder voice, please.
If you're just coming in or haven't heard, Saracens involved in one of the great Champions Cup matches, certainly the pool stages, any stage really, not Toulon this afternoon, winning by 31 points to 23, first defeat for Toulon at home in Europe. Magnificent performance from the champions, who look every bit the champions. Northampton former champions in a slugging match here, and Brooks alongside Alex Waller. The Brops will be delighted with that. Gives another chance to clear here.
Well, again, Montpellier's game is based around the set piece and power, and a trio of Ashvillis from Georgia will be furious that they have been scrummaged into submission there. And when they do concede a penalty, what Harry Malander gives you is a very long boot. I mean, that smashed that one 40, 50 metres, and he didn't even go near touch. That was a safe kick at a 45, 50 metre safe kick. It started well.
Hayward again looking forward, but this time it takes a deflection, fielded well by Waller. Still getting the start in front of Paul Hill, of course the man in the England squad these days, the youngster, 21 years of age. Tight head prop, here comes George North, and it lands. North looked very threatening there, and when he looks threatening, defences can look a little bit scared.
He's got a few inches on Marvin O'Connor, and he's got footwork on most players on this planet. may not be the last time Stephen Myler will look for that particular play.
Rain starting to fall. It was forecast for around about now. You can see the clouds gathering.
6 away! You jumped across the line there and entered from the wrong side.
This is one area which is working very well for Montpellier.
Marcus here, lads. Jumped across the wrong side and came in from that side of the maul.
And despite all the talent of Ndolo and Stein and Dumoulin, this team love to eke out penalties and just belt the ball long and then hang on to the ball. It's about patience, possession and power. And Botica has mistouch.
When that's your game, you've got to get the territory. Here's George North trying to eat up some territory in return. Myler hit that one as cleanly as he wanted, and it therefore goes to Mandolo.
Too slow, advantage.
Willemsen, 20 stone. Stein, and he has gone for some outrageous drop goals in his time. He's got a few as well.
Keep going, keep
the
going.
advantage was being played.
Well, that was speculation with a capital S there from Franz Stein, but it was pretty poor from the Northampton fly half. Stephen Myler, they had a good opportunity to get out of their own half where they don't want to be against this team, and a really loose kick gave Mandolo the chance to win the ball. They've got the penalty, and this time Botica has found touch and Montpellier are back in the 22. They'd like to be 5 or 6 metres nearer, but as soon as they get inside that 22, their driving game can be very dangerous.
Line it over.
It's making sure of the touch that time. Botica maybe a little bit greedy the time before.
Once.
Tighter angle as well, Miles, and on left footer.
Advantage, 6 black, out.
Tom Wood penalised. It's a lot of penalties now
6 black, side entry.
in a short space of time.
If you dragged it across, back, yeah, and again and again.
4 each overall, but just starting to gather like the clouds for Northampton. And Botica just...
That's a big worry for Northampton. You look at the Premiership and they've only conceded 7 tries. It's one of the best records next to Saracens. But you have to go a long way across the league to see they have conceded 21 penalty goals. They are leaking 10.5 points a game from penalties conceded within kicking range. And in the last 5 minutes, they've started a leak again.
And that was a clear warning from Nigel Owens to Tom Wood and the Northampton team. But what do? If this moves towards the line,
that's a rock, back you go.
worked out okay in the end, but there's still a lot to do.
Hands away.
And he got a little bit lucky there, Northampton, as it fractured.
Stay on your feet.
The rolling more. Here's Spies. He fancies himself to carry a few over the line, but not that time. Screaming for support on this side, and they're getting it. And plenty of numbers there for Northampton. On Duplessis, then it's White. Good service to Botica. Have they drawn them in? Foul.
Shot, 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 shot.
Well short. Montpellier put in.
Shot.
Well, this season it's been Northampton blowing the chances here at the Gardens, but right now it is Montpellier. Benjamin Fall, once he made the decision to step inside and go, had to make it his, and the captain of Montpellier does not. Comes off the left foot. It's a 2-on-1. Has to be a score. Northampton defence superb.
Nandolo can hardly believe it. He's hopping on the spot saying why when we had an overlap. And Fall went for it. He had to score. Then there's an argument he could have got penalised for holding on.
It's a brilliant piece of defence from Sam Dickinson. Back rower in for Courtney Laws in the second row. That's the moment. He hits him and just stops him dead. But a reach from Fall and he scores there.
I'm not going to penalise him or penalise the tackle of removing. A lot of people involved, scrum and playable, side forward.
So Nigel Owens had just explained why he didn't give a penalty to Northampton for holding on. It was one of those tight ones. It's still pretty tight, the situation for Northampton.
It was one of those situations as well, Miles, wasn't it, where you've got to say it was tremendous defence from the Saints, but pretty shoddy attacking from Montpellier. And having listened to Sean Sowerby talking to Graham Simmons, I think Montpellier really need to turn all this possession into points. They've been profligate. They cannot stay this close to the try line without coming away with something if they want to win.
Nobody's steady. All 6 are not steady.
Lost their last 5 away games in the Champions Cup, Montpellier. Last in the Cup in the season 2014-2015. Only 1 win in the competition that year by a single point against Toulouse in round 6 when the game was up.
But if you look at that, Miles, Montpellier will think more than 2/3 of the territory, we've had the possession, they've got everything right about their game. They're playing it where they want it, but they have to start turning chances into scores.
As that was then, this is now. There's another penalty.
Leg position, black 3.
As Northampton collapsed the scrum. I fancy another go.
No.
Oh, I think,
or do they?
Jump call, boys. What's the captain? What do you want?
All the way from fullback.
I'd have thought the line-out would be the obvious thing, but the scrum has been called by the fullback, who's still hobbling. A dangerous call in the scrum because with this drizzle falling, it can be very slippery, and a referee can make interpretations at the scrum. The line-out seems the safer bet, but the Georgians want a scrum.
I was talking to a French journalist this week, a colleague who said that there is a danger. Jake White knowing that he's going to go, or the players knowing he's going to go in France, that the players might try and get the keys to the bus. If they're trying to drive it there, Benjamin Fell, the captain, eventually came forward, but there were all kinds of instructions from the referee about what Montpellier wanted to do. They need to be on the same page. On that page at the moment, written large, is the word penalty.
Took the binding away.
Well, what Montpellier haven't done is take any 3 points at goal. For those of you who watched Saracens earlier, Owen Farrell just comes up every time there's an opportunity. You take the penalty, you take the 3 points. Montpellier have been looking to grind out, and finally they've decided enough is enough. And Northampton, having conceded 3 scrum penalties, will think we will take 3 points after all this pressure and all this territory against us.
It's been the strongest scrummage in French rugby this season, the top 14 Montpellier. I think most observers sort of agreed with that statement. There was concern in the Montpellier pack this week about how it would be refereed and whether there would be an encouragement to get the ball out from the number 8's feet, as the new instruction sort of dictates. Montpellier wanted to stay in there to exert their influence.
He's missed
brings
it.
Penalties.
Are you captain now, 6? Okay.
There's the points. We go to the gain line and Scott.
Chancellor will be pulling his hair out. If you have a look, they've done everything right, get over the gain line, it opens up, just go forward. They've all got their head to the floor, that's all you've got to do is drive it over, they fall over themselves. That'd be 10 points.
Yes, Northampton did get lucky there. And sort of over the whole of the piece, really, just to concede the 3 points, which Bodiger did get. And there's O'Connor. Good work by the winger. Lukashvili. Bodiger. This is Ken Pieces. Mark called by Ben Bodiger. 20 points, 6 penalty goals, and a conversion against Castres.
Stay there.
In the latest game for Montpellier. So he's in good kicking form, even though Katrakilis has been a major point scorer for Montpellier in recent times. And he's going the other way to Harlequins next season.
The one thing that is sure after the first half hour, Montpellier are not going to turn up in the same slovenly state as we saw Thursday night when Stade Francais came to Harlequins and were risible. Things haven't been happening for Montpellier as they may have liked, but they look very committed to this game. We know their game plan. The rain is coming down. That will probably take some of the ambition out of the game. It's going to be a tough old night yet.
Play off the feet, play on!
Yes, the Northampton supporters have certainly realised that there's an interesting atmosphere in the stadium. Either side is leading the match. Definitely a feeling that this is a full-on match and a very physical one as well. There's a lot of work for the home side to do here.
Oh, really, the first 30 minutes, it's been a flip-flop of Premiership action. Northampton normally make chances and miss them. They haven't had that many, but they took it brilliantly. Montpellier, they have had the chances, they haven't taken them.
Shoulders out, please. I say use, ball goes. Where's your shoulder? Shoulder, please. No, get it out. Get square.
It's a great angle here for Louis Picamole if Northampton can ensure a solid scrum. Loves to pick up on a scrum and go. We've seen his offloading skills already. To Callum Clark for that try.
Keep on your second row. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Not a totally foreign place to Picamole. His grandfather lives here and his mother
bind
lived
up.
and worked here.
Use.
And there he is controlling at the base of the scrum and doing exactly what you were talking about.
10 metres made easily. That's great play.
Myler. Malander, little chip. It's sit up for North. Not quite. Geoffrey Michel now on for Montpellier. Fielded that one. There's Nick White. Foden.
It was off his own foot. Play on.
Okay,
play on
back,
the call.
Back. Use.
Myler. Here's Dickinson.
Hands away, Rack.
Courtney Law's not quite making it. Training on Wednesday was pretty heavily
yes,
strapped.
The ball is out. Advantage, knocked on. Ball was out from the base of the rack.
Groom got the hurry up there.
Hands away, Black. Lost. Advantage, knock on.
White finds Botica. Here's Stain looking to get it to Nandola. He's hardly seen it.
Advantage over.
And that's a good offload as well. And here's a chance for Michel onto Stain, and Stain will definitely score this one. That is a fine try from Montpellier. Didn't come from their forwards. It came from a different route. And it was very well taken.
Took it out, the ball was out.
Unorthodox there. A long pass just to get the ball to the giant for Gian. He's closed down, but his offloading skills are brilliant. Franz Stain arrows it wide. The support work from Geoffrey Michel is absolutely superb, and Stain just waits his line on the inside, and the big bock is over. Superb play from Nandola. Look at that little touch there. Michel, the former Perpignan man, steps in field. He draws his man and puts Stain away. This is exquisite. We've seen one from Picamole, and that's a beauty from the Fijian. And the way Michel stops his man, comes in field to create the space for Franz Stain, that's a lovely constructed score.
But Botica can't add the extra, so Northampton maintain the lead of just 2 points. And Franz Stain, with his power against Groom, was always going to win just short of the line. Jake White, everyone in the ground knew that. And it was wonderfully created by Nandolo's pass
The skipper Benjamin Fall is off, but I don't think he could have done any better there than Michel. The way he just held his man and checked to create the space. Beautiful piece of skill. And you couldn't argue Montpellier, in terms of territory and possession, aren't good value for that score.
Well, Geoffrey Michel made his European debut against Northampton on this ground 6 years ago now. 34-0 it finished that night against Perpignan. And he's been involved in a much more positive moment already after his short time on the field in this one. And you're right, it wasn't just about the pass, was it? It was that step from Michel, the stop. Just check the defence.
Back up, Blue, play on. Off the legs, play on.
That's a super kick. It gave Montpellier every opportunity to compete, and they've got it back.
Botica. And Derlo on the checks, but there should be time here for Groom, who's covered well the scrum half. And he's kicked pretty well too. Relief in those applause for the Saints supporters.
Yeah, good play from Northampton there. Nick White, what he's trying to do is pull George North into the contact zone, and then he loves that second kick over the top. But North was able to get back, and Groom covered the far side. It wasn't a perfect kick, and it gave the scrum half a chance to clear the lines.
Sorry about that.
I mean, how teams feel the kicking game is going to be crucial here, because it's very, very miserly at the moment.
Looks pretty set in, but Northampton, despite the increasingly slippy ball, take it back. And George PC and George North, and Ben Foden after this kick. Michel, well, that's a bit more like it was 6 years ago when it was in Perpignan colours.
Hands away, Black, lost now!
Tight in the corner with the rain falling. Saw take a big effort from Montpellier to clear, but that was good. And White finds touch, but there's still time here for Northampton with a rare attacking position. Started the game so well with that early try from Callum Clark. For the majority of the half, they've been defending.
And they have. That was really good play from Pierre Spies there. Big man likes the hard ground. He just stepped his way a couple of metres and gave a chance to his man to clear the line. From Montpellier perspective now, they will want to hold on to this 10-8 situation going into half-time.
Stay there!
We'll add to it, George North. Flag is up. Just clip the line.
Okay. Yeah. Right now. Hey. I put it again, George. I swear.
Well, you can understand why Northampton are trying to get George North into the game, but Montpellier were ready for that one.
Time out.
They've been ready for most things after the first 5 minutes when they arrived very sleepy at the Gardens, but they've been dangerous for the last 35. It promises to be a tough half.
Okay, right. Hey, Captain, I expect better. How about from now on, I'll get the gap, okay? Then we don't need to push and shove, do we? Okay? Get the space, keep it open, and I will get the gap. Okay? Thank you. And both jumpers, can you make sure the guy comes to get the ball? No long arm.
Tonight, I'm sure you've heard, Nigel Owens, Gwyn Morris and Rhys Thomas. And that's a charge down from Tom Ward.
When there's time, that's brilliant play from the Northampton skipper. Nick White has put his team under massive pressure.
Up the ante at just the right moment.
Don't step in, keep the
Now,
space.
can Northampton steal this? They stole one right at the start of the match.
Are you in or out? You're at 9.
Drawing the ball
Good.
furiously is Shelva Mamukashvili.
Thank you.
Needs to get this right. They've cut the line out, and it's bang on. And White could have just about got that ball off the field. Maybe would have been a second or two too early. Won't matter. White's got it back, and that will be half-time. And this is poised right on a knife edge, this round one game, and Northampton know it. They got the early score to settle the team. They needed it. It was a try. It was a tonic from Callum Clark. But Montpellier coming back, and at half-time, it's as close as that, 10-8. And Montpellier coming back in the shape of Franz Steyn, but only
go into this game having conceded far too many penalties that have been kicked. It's really hurt them. They need, if they're going to win this opening game in the European Champions Cup, to make sure they are playing the majority of this second half in Montpellier territory. I think if we get a similarity in terms of territory to the first half, Montpellier have a very good chance of going away with the win here.
Northampton will know that they've lost their last 5 matches against top 14 sides in the Champions Cup. Majority of those, vast majority against Racing.
Vantage played by Blue.
But they also know they can ill afford another here tonight at the start of this pool.
Back.
So important to start well, especially when you're the home team. North.
Vantage over.
Myler puts it up into the rain.
It's not a good kick from Myler. Very high, but lacked any depth at all. No pressure on Montpellier.
And Nick White reverts to the game plan straight away. George North tries to bring it away.
Lost now.
Northampton leading by 10 points to 8. No change to either team at half-time. Michelle had come on for the injured foul, the captain in the first half. There's Marvin O'Connor. And here's Pickamoles. Groom, little chip. Doesn't work, finds White. Here's Botica. Michelle. George Peacey was looking for an interception. And Michelle goes on the outside, does well. Botica again finds Duplessis.
Carries well, doesn't he?
Dumoulin.
Ball is out.
White off the floor quickly, had to. Duplessis carries again.
Play on, no, play on, didn't touch it, feet.
One's not involved. Kubrashvili. That drive and back again to White and Botica. Being patient here. Montpellier. Here comes Franz Steyn. Tackling again.
Away,
Patterson
no,
involved.
Stay out.
Clark once more too. Northampton defence was excellent in the first half. Had to be. And the mark called by
Come back, Glenn, come back,
Peacey.
come back. I mean,
Well, Groom's last kick for Northampton had plenty of. Myler's kick had a lot of height but no depth. That one, too much depth, no height at all. Very easy for Ken Peasy. Yes, you need a kick in conditions like this, but you've got to kick better than that.
It's okay, a nudge inside the Montpellier half from Ken Peasy. Also his brother George, and the brother Tusi, of course now with Bristol. All 3 once played against South Africa for Samoa.
Just watch the way Montpellier go about their game. Very slow. The hooker taking his time just to make sure the ball is dry. Everyone's getting there. Second, third gear rugby and just trying to squeeze.
fine, go in to get it, that's fine. That's once.
Northampton didn't want to get involved in the arm wrestles with Alex Waller, but they might not have a choice here. PC again, he's lost that, but it's fallen to Groom and Foden.
Open play, play on, left in form, just a tackle.
A loose offload there.
Saints have to reorganise quickly. Duplessis. There's
Move
Villemse,
away, Black, release.
the Praetorian.
Okay, Hughes. Advantage.
stolen.
Knock on wide, advantage. Still advantage, boys.
And there's Brooks.
Advantage over.
And Pickamoles. That's a great line. Certainly with his head up there, Pickamoles looking exactly what was on, left and right. He went left, it was the right choice. Malander has another chance to have a dig at that, and it's taken play deep inside the Montpellier half.
One moment of muscular magic there from Louis Picamole, 45-metre break, and then a little bit of a hack from Malander, but that's a 70-metre change of play there. Northampton get the turnover after a really loose piece of play from Foden, and then Picamole off the right foot, and there's a real change of pace there. He just sails past the defenders. Nobody fancies the ex-Montpellier man, makes a lot of ground.
There's good hands from Patterson right at the start after the knock-on. Set Pickamoles up.
He's a big man, but he glides.
Great movement. Dickinson trying to get all over this. Brooks as well. Haywood throws himself in. And Northampton, at the moment, enjoying the arm wrestle.
This is a match that has to be played close to the opposing try lines. Picamole has given them a chance, along with the boot of Malander, to get there, and now the Northampton pack, they've done their part, they've turned over Montpellier. Solid scrum, and expect that man, Picamole, to be carrying.
Scrum is out 15.
Feeling is here that they've not been too far away. They're lying in 9th place in the Premiership. It's early days. 1-2, lost 4. Certainly against Was here. Informed Was side. Northampton could have left that game kicking themselves that they didn't take their chances.
Straight. Find long. Leg strong. Long. Keep square.
Bath also winners here.
Crouch.
Here's a moment when Northampton maybe make Montpellier feel the force of the Gardens. They do. Pickamoles wants to hold that tight. It's going to be reset, but I think the point has been made to the referee.
Both up.
Nige, keep the White's backs back 5 until the scrum is over.
Okay.
Number 10.
Both are up.
The line's got to stay back a certain distance there. You can't get
Really important scrum coming up
behind
there.
the ball. Behind the ball.
Of course, now, if you wheel a scrum and it goes round, you don't get the put in, it goes back to the team that initially put it in.
On the last scrum, I'm not going to penalise you for going in and you. The both of you going into the last scrum, that's why you went up and that's why you have reset. Keep straight, keep square. Go in, it'll be a penalty.
And that stand up and the need to reset just happening before the scrum
stay there.
Wheel round beyond the 90.
Do you think Georgian front rowers all have a limited English vocabulary and they understand the entire terminology of the front row and nothing else?
Shoulder, stay square, crouch, bind, set.
See how they cope with this scrum from Northampton. Well, that one is going absolutely nowhere. So Groom plays it, and Malander over the game line. Groom again. Pickamoles, the new hero here, and he would have been
not 5 from the scrum.
Certainly underlining that status with a try there, but not even Pickamoles with his power could do anything, but he didn't lose the ball, nor would. And it's back with Groom, and then Dickinson, who's put in a shift tonight. He really has. Playing out of position, remember, not his chosen place in the side, and referee Nigel Owens back for the penalty.
Interesting call now for Tom Wood. The game now pretty much always goes for the try, either with a scrum or the line out, but in these conditions I just think, do you take the 3 points and just keep building up the incremental lead? Good carry there from Malander, but a very powerful defence.
Stay 5 metres till the scrum is over.
Yeah, you can see Myler's going for the 3 points. On a dry day, there's a question mark. I think in these conditions, the only sane call from a captain is to just increase that lead.
Bottica being warned there, you may have heard by Nigel Owens, about encroaching and therefore giving the penalty away. Fly half stepping in. And the scrum was still in progress, but what it did was allow Malander that space to get right over the gain line. Just double hurt for Montpellier because of those 3 points for Stephen Myler and Northampton. 13 points to 8 they now lead.
Nick, I don't know your view from the studio. The pack are having to work really hard in front of him, but what does it difference when you've got a number 8 like Picamole and those feet of his?
Thanks, Nick. He's got it again. He's the focus at the moment. Oh, it's worked. Dickinson, good hands. Malander, lovely hands. On from Myler to Peacey. Outside is Foden. Ken Peacey was waiting, but it was, according to Foden, a little bit too tight, and he didn't take the risk. With the touchline getting ever closer. Lost by North. That is clearly a knock-on, so it's advantage. Spies. There's a lot of good in that developing Northampton attack.
Oh, that's a good kick from White. It's a cracking kick.
A lot of space in behind George North. A long way to go back, having been part of the attack. But Malander's there, ready and waiting. And he shows his kicking prowess again.
Well, Nick Easter's talking about Louis Picamole, and even as we're both drawing breath, he's off again with those soft feet. Gets a little bit lucky, but almost playing as if rain, as Northampton find a streak of barbarian rugby in them. Unfortunately for them, it was George North of all people who knocks it on. Bold play from Picamole there.
As Batu tried to get in but couldn't. Good hands again from Dickinson. Scotty?
Yeah, not only power, not only pace. I tell you what, he's very intelligent as well. Let's have a look at this. He gets the ball, no problem. He goes on the outside, he steps inside. He sees the inside forwards. He sees them coming across. They work really, really well, but he exploits their work, cuts back inside, 45-yard run. Superb from Picamole.
They're good stats, aren't they? 9 carries, over 7 metres a carry, but those metres really came. And 6 gain line successes there.
Space for Hampton, please. Time will come on the box.
It's also an indication of the boys in front of him. They're doing very well in the scrums. They're giving him a platform.
Estate. Good strength and power from the South African again. The try scorer for Montpellier.
The ball is nowhere near anybody but your own man.
Ekatadze. Groom. Willemse. Groom again. Dislodged the ball from Duplessis, but he got it back.
Release now off your feet, lost.
Picamole was being held there by Kubrashvili. He didn't take too kindly to that. Bottica, see what he can do with the up and under. Well, what Ben Foden can do is catch it like he so often nearly always does. And Harry Malander goes for length. Nandolo, that one slipped through. Don't give him the bird, because he will come straight back. Not a man to fire up. Marnie Nandolo. The crowd enjoying it at the moment. Enjoying the performance of their side in this second half. Picamole's with a turnover there. And now George Peacey is looking for a bounce, and Michel's in trouble. Peacey falls on him. but it's the referee going Northampton's way with the penalty advantage. And it's Dickinson. It's a long pass required. North knew what he had to do, just flick it on.
Right with the mark, win, okay?
It's Kempisi. Advantage still being played. Well, the scrum half Groom's on the floor. North is trying to protect the ball. Someone's going to have to step in. Nobody does.
No advantage, holding on.
So it's the penalty. Oh, excellent work from Pickamole.
Well, Nandolo, world-class player, but Pickamole gets a great position there. If he does support his weight, it's for such a split second. Nigel Owens doesn't see it. Key turnover there. And then Groom with a Nick White-esque kick into the corner. That's what you want on your number 9 on a greasy day like this. I thought Michel didn't have a chance to get up there, and I think that's a really hard call against Montpellier there.
Yeah, George Peacey, the one who got away with it. So too maybe Pickamole's.
Right. Huh?
And what an important line out we now have.
Number 8, number 4, number 3.
And going to be part of it, 3 new Montpellier forwards. Uedrago is on. You can see Akapusi and Guerra as well. And in fact, Vincent Martin's come on in the back line. There's Akapusi and Guerra, the former Gloucester man. Straight into defensive mode as Northampton catch and drive and try and do to Montpellier what they've been trying to do to the Saints pretty well all evening. In goes Groom. He's got a short side, but he goes with Dickinson. Pickamoles was waiting. He'd have backed himself there, Pickamoles. But Groom can't get that ball back, and that's the problem. And Montpellier, see Yanni Duplessis on as well. He was the 3rd forward in the change. He saved the day that time.
Your legs away from it, you stop the ball coming.
A wide angle, but should Northampton have taken the 3 points? It's another missed kick to touch again from Montpellier.
From Stein that time. Here comes Foden. Running into a lot of white and blue shirts, but he did really well, the fullback. Dickinson. Groom. Myler. It's a gritty performance this by Northampton. But it's all about the win. As it is from day one in this competition, it's the beauty of it. Or one of the many beauties of it. Ball back with Uedrago. Here's a chance for Montpellier. Stein, well, he couldn't find touch last time. Now he's kicked it out on the full.
On my mark.
So he's not having a great run, is Fran Stein.
Well, neither 10 looks like they're dominant. I was just going to ask you about the 2-12s. Fran Stein's had a horrible 2 minutes or so, but how important do you think he and Harry Mallender are in the next 25 minutes of this game?
Absolutely, that ability to give the flag an extra bit of time, take the short yardage carry if the pressure comes in and around the fringes, as defences are prepared to blitz a little bit more because the ball gets greasy. Staines had a half-decent game until, as you say, those last 2 horror kicks. Got a penalty deep in your own territory, got to find touch. Then there was acres of space for him to hit, drops it onto the left foot straight out. Harry Mallender has been very good tonight. Really been impressed with him again. He seems to play well every time we watch him. They've been controlled, composed, not forcing it, and just an extra bit of width for Myler.
He's like a young Greenwood with a bigger boot. Bit to prove yet.
And a lot better looking.
That goes without saying.
Stay back. Stay, 18.
There's White.
Good man, okay.
PC. It's Kempisi.
Release. Hughes.
Foden, quite happy
Stay
at scrum
back,
half,
stay.
of course.
Stay.
A large portion of his career in that position. Here's the Montpellier 9, Nick White.
Come back, White, come back.
Oh, that's gone high. Foden, no trouble. McGroom
You are all off your
feared
feet,
that.
trying to prevent him who was on his feet.
Scrum half tried
Away
again
you go.
quickly before the whistle and couldn't beat it.
A
Here's
lot
the
of
doctor, Yanni Duplessis.
And a lot of credit not just to the kicker there, but the speed with which Montpellier put men into that
I can't give you
breakdown.
3 points.
They nudged it forward, and because of that, they were able to seal the man off and get the penalty. The initial kick
time out.
is really good. Foden does well,
Santi's on his feet. You're
but
all
the
flying
chase
off
is
your feet
really
to prevent
good.
the turnover.
3 forwards there
Release
quicker.
Griezmann away.
And I think in this situation,
Time is
with
out.
these conditions, it's 3 points needed. I think that is the right answer. I mean, a 7-pointer gives them the lead, but it's very slippery. .38 metres out. Great kicking surface.
Captain.
Franz Stein is the man lurking around the ball.
It's a very physical, very hard game. The conditions
Referee
are
just
bad.
waiting
So I
for
appreciate
the injury to be
where they are.
cleared.
Maybe what I don't want is to have to escalate that with willful offences and then give a yellow card, okay? So make sure you do keep your discipline, okay? But I do appreciate it's a very tough game for everybody concerned, okay? Thank you.
Use that time, Nigel Owens, just to have a word with the two skippers.
haven't moved now,
Antoine
have you?
Batut now taking over.
You haven't moved?
As the
Is that the
captain.
spot?
I don't know.
That is, is that right? Okay. Time is on now, okay?
Franz Stein trying to pull a fast one and grab an extra metre or two. He doesn't need to bother too much about that, Franz Stein. He's got distance.
I think he's slipped in field a metre or so, make it a bit straighter. Yes, he has the distance. Kicked that 60-metre penalty to beat the All Blacks. I think it was 2009, the last time New Zealand lost in New Zealand in Dunedin. Not as big a kick, but right now it's significant enough for Montpellier.
Makes a thud every time Stein hits the ball, either out of hand or off the tee. And that one driving its way through the uprights. Montpellier back within 2 points as they were at half-time then.
Let's keep on top of everything other boys, okay? Let's keep working hard.
Off goes McGroom for lead excellent scrum half for Northampton.
They on!
And Dixon gets straight into it.
Release!
Really good restart from Myler.
It was
Too high for Brooks, and then knocked forward by PC.
We're talking about Stein having a half-decent game and then 2 horrible kicks.
You're right.
That's a shocking pass from Harry Mallender there.
Huh?
And if you want to see more of Northampton, live on Sky Sports next weekend in round 2, away to Castres.
You go on the line
We
there.
have
We
two
have the
teams in
matches.
this pool. Leinster getting a good win this afternoon in Dublin, and tomorrow we start at 12:30 for the French side. Bordeaux Bègles against Ulster. That's on Sky Sports 3. And we're on Sky Sports 2 at 3 o'clock
Keep me the shoulders,
for
boys, please, okay?
Racing 92.
Hip squares well.
Runner-up last season against Munster.
Bind long.
A
Crouch!
special game, of course, for Ronan O'Gara, now on the
Bind!
coaching staff at Racing,
Set!
the former Munster great.
Black's gone to knees. Black has gone to knees.
I wonder with the slippery surface and the rain falling whether Nigel Owens is just
Body
going to
angle
be
straighter and better. Get those knees up off the ground.
a little bit more circumspect before giving penalties on the scrum.
Well, he hinted at that, didn't he, in his recent instruction to the players, that he's trying to take into account the difficult conditions. It's a lovely surface here, always is. But you can see it's a wet one tonight. Crowd playing their part, but away goes Ungera. And that is a good run by the replacement. And Franz Stein from White's tricky. Hands there. O'Connor. And suddenly into that Northampton 22. White again finds Jacques Duplessis. Tackled by his opposite number, Callum Clark, but White to the blind side, and that's a slippy ball for you, and O'Connor can't cope.
Wonderful from Akapusi and Guerra there. Northampton went to put the 8-man on. They really had them going backwards, but because they were all bound, you could see that nobody's off on the open side, and he makes good meters there. The passing is good, but in the end, the final pass just cannot be delivered. Very good meters made, though. Tremendous stuff from the Fijian. He's played really well, Duplessis as well. Warrior on the breakdown.
Huh?
And Marvin O'Connor can't quite hold that.
That little spell with Toulouse.
Try will come on, the ball comes in.
He starts for his time with the Gloucester club, of course. The favourite at Kingsholm he became. He was a former favourite on the high belt. Duplessis, and what's happening in this lineup? Northampton with Pickamoles, but he's given it inside to Ashvili. Flag is up again.
Good result. Very good result for Montpellier. They put men in the air. Pressure on Mikey Haywood and company, and Tom Wood can't beat Willemse there. The big man just uses his bulk. Gives Kieran Brooks a knock out of the way as he tries to drive Pickamole towards touch.
Big man to lift, Willemse.
Just on the line and just shorten the line, okay?
Toll becomes available for France next summer on residency grounds. And then the Watrames comes into the front row for Montpellier with Mariashvili.
Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back.
One Vili down.
Go back.
Mamukashvili still has it and is still out there and still making an impact, the hooker. Good drive. Northampton with bodies in the way.
They've got the penalty, Montpellier.
Yeah, it's taken down. As the boys are saying in the studio, it could easily have been a penalty try in the first half.
Well, you know, you bring Yannick Duplessis on with Drago, you bring Guerra on. So much experience, and they're really working it well there. That was tremendous wet weather rugby, intelligent stuff. Nick Easter would have been in the studio there licking his lips at the decision making of the Montpellier side there. Nothing that Northampton could do about that. And there's no debate here about going for the corner or the posts.
Well, nothing that they could do that was legal. Watrames says hello. Has to take Montpellier in front. Real hush around the ground. It has been really ever since the first 5 minutes. That flourish early on from Northampton, that try, and it's burst into life every now and again. But there's a real concern here that Montpellier are going to be a hard juggernaut to stop. Crowd to life. Enjoy that. Bad miss from Steyn.
Well, it's a shocking miss from Franz Steyn, and then you think back to Steyn chasing down and shouting the Myler kick that he missed initially, and then kicked from the touchline.
Substitution.
Things aren't going so well for the former All Black of Springbok.
Well, that wipes out his try.
It does.
And the new face here at Northampton, the Fijian international Api Atuni Gawa. Sign from Agen. And Steyn is going for a gigantic drop goal. Stung by the miss.
nice. Is that an
But he keeps
option or
missing.
not? Or was it touch?
So a drop of 20, tried a drop goal, didn't he?
Drop goal it was, a drop goal, yes.
Tried a drop goal, so no option, drop goal.
It won't put him off having another go, will it?
He's very single-minded when it comes to drop goals. Malinder's restart. Up from Stein. See, the last one was high, that's even higher. But the bounce could cause difficulties for Northampton. Callum Clark is there. Did go forward from Montpellier, so Northampton have a small advantage.
Advantage over.
It's now over. Michelle. Gary Owen is the order of the day. Foden, it's a good chase from Stein. Foden clings on and hopes for support. He's getting dragged along. But Lee Dixon needs to get that away. His hands were on it.
You can't do that.
But he was cool.
Number 2. You just can't. You must control yourself, please.
Well,
Dixon brought him onto it.
Yeah, Mamukashvili just threw himself off his feet there, and Montpellier were in a really good position. Yet again, the high ball is chased superbly. Dixon under pressure. Ball number 2. I was going to say Balletic, but I don't think Nijinsky would have enjoyed that description.
You must control yourself to come in a situation like that. If you stay on your feet, there is no problem. Control yourself, please.
Is that the horse or the ballet dancer?
Didn't move like either there.
You offer blood, do you?
I wouldn't want to see him in tights. Ken PC leaves.
You captain now?
And James Wilson is back. And Tamana Harrison on for Callum Clark as well. Harrison and victorious in the summer. A couple of caps. The end of the season and on that tour. Players player here last season. James Wilson, great that he's back after a long-term arm injury. Failure to find the touch though again. As if both sides know the importance of territory and they're going for broke.
It's really poor play in these conditions though, really poor.
Drago, especially when Montpellier have so many options out on that far side, but they bring it this way with Yanni Duplessis. Quite as many options to the left.
Lost now!
Roll away, says Nigel Owen, so those jeers for the handling error soon die.
Yeah, but you roll the wrong side, you have to take the consequences. You slowed it all down.
Well, Dad's not going to be happy with Son there. That all results from the fact that Harry Malinder missed a straightforward penalty kick to touch. At the moment, this game is getting very tense and the quality of the game is slipping off. Far too many errors at the moment. And that was a big one. If this doesn't go through the posts, it will be even bigger.
Stein can't really afford to miss this. And because of that, there's a lot of pressure on him here. The match and his own failings within it. At key moments. But safely through. And Montpellier have the lead. And we'll go to Will Green as well.
Yeah, Stuart's right to talk about Harry Malinder missing touch, but all night, and in fact all season, Northampton Saints have really struggled with the high ball coming back at them. They haven't claimed it. The balls have been bouncing again tonight. How they would cry out for someone like Mike Brown to be out there now, who would just dominate the air and settle the nerves.
Hill for Brooks. That's a change at tight head. Who can get their hands on this? Well, Jenny Duplessis. There is Paul Hill putting in his first attempted tackle.
They're back.
Just the wrong side of the line at the moment, then Northampton. They have to do the chasing.
17 is on, 17 onside.
Losing bonus point at home in round one. Not really enough. There's North. Dixon.
17 white, put him on.
There's Appy.
Move!
Dixon again. Pickamoles. North.
Let it go, let it go, let it go!
Might have just been a little bit in front of the kicker there.
Play on, he fell
There's
over,
Wilson.
play on!
On the chase.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. Just a mess. Just a mess. Scrum down, time out.
Is that description of the last 10 minutes of play?
Time's out. Nick, when you were in the air, you fell over him on that side, okay?
Well, it's quite interesting. I was listening to Will there. He's absolutely right. In the Premiership, Northampton have made a right mess of high balls going their way, but it's not just the regain of them. They've been very slow to get men there as well, and Montpellier have really hit hard and aggressively, and Northampton this half have been, I think, a little too passive at breakdown.
This could still have a happy ending for Northampton this week. It's been a troublesome one. The back of that start, whatever you make of it in the Premiership. Lots of a number of the coaching staff losing his role. Alex King is bound to be unsettling. Not least the King himself, of course.
Just a mess there, okay? Scrum
I just
down,
think it's
possession.
2 years ago, Alex King was being touted left, right and centre as Eddie Jones's right-hand man in attack. Now he's been dismissed here at
Space back, guys, please.
Northampton. Or left of mutual consent. I think we all know what happened.
Keep up, okay? Bind long. Shoulder, please. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Question mark about the... well, first of all, as referee Nigel Ellis says, the scrum not being steady, but also the put-in, which looked as if it was heading toward the second row.
Is that okay? I thought it's got to go to the number 8 before you're penalised.
Both sides, get steady, please. Nothing moves till the ball comes in.
And that's all Montpellier want. A steady scrum with nothing moving to the base of the scrum and let Nick White belt the ball downfield. Right now, and I'm sure the guys in the studio would agree, it's about being in the part of the field where you can't concede a penalty and lose the game.
Bind!
The referee said to the scrum halves, when he says put it in, do it straight away. Well, again, it's the front row's causing the issue, and that was an unsteady moment from Montpellier, and Pickamoles is off again.
Advantage, not 10.
Just over 10 minutes to go. There's plenty of time in one way. It might not feel that way, though, to Northampton. There's Wilson.
Well, they've got the penalty from Pickamole going quickly.
Harrison.
Going nowhere.
On me, Nige.
So there is this penalty. More pertinently, where is this penalty?
A free kick again, but it's 2 metres from the 22 and about 8 metres from touch, to answer your question, Ross. Pickamole, he's so alert, isn't he? He really is a good player.
So tap and go again. A chance to kick from the free kick to goal. Harrison. Dixon. Myler. Malander. North. As you said, he likes to come off that wing, run that line, wreak havoc. Wood.
No!
Dixon. Myler. Malander on to North. Crowd really getting involved now. Waller as well. North picking himself up. Pickamoles. Dixon just waits, gives it to Appy.
Oh, almost stolen.
Referee had a good look. Hutchinson. There's Myler to Malander. Foden. Plenty of cover there for Montpellier. But Foden did well until he lost the ball. The leg drive was excellent.
Let it go, White! Let it go,
So
White!
Montpellier have turned over.
Okay, we're going to come.
Concerted pressure comes to nothing. But remember the last scrum, Nick White penalised for a delayed put-in. There's a sense that there's a bit of pressure coming from the fresh Northampton scrummages.
You can say something.
Paul Hill on.
They have got to take the hit. They've got to take it. You have got to control
Both
it as
closers
well.
now are 8.20 for Northampton in Hutchinson and Malander.
Just watching Guerin then, he was pretty close, wasn't he, to being off his feet, to being penalised. Dumoulin has done a great job there. He's forced that ball out. He's almost prized it, hasn't he?
9 minutes. 9 minutes to go, okay? You going off?
Everybody made aware of the time on the clock.
Well, first half, the possession, the territory was all about Northampton, well, all about Montpellier. Second half, Northampton are dominating the possession. I just sense if they can just stay here for 5-6 minutes, they're going to conjure at the least a penalty, or at some stage, Stephen Myler has to think about the drop goal option.
Hayward off, Charlie Clare on. Lucas Billy goes as well. And Roman Ruffenat comes on.
The medical joker's gone.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
And put him straight.
Dream on.
Loose head, straight across. One loose head,
changes happening
straight
now.
across.
But Alex Waller is still out there.
Now I would say,
And that's a penalty against.
I would say, Mars, for all the
That
talk
wasn't
about
straight and
rain in
square.
the distance,
You went across him, stay square.
what is the most important thing here for Nick White is this ball finds touch so that Montpellier can control the ball at the line out.
White finds his touch, and we find Scott Quinnell on the game line.
Yeah, Montpellier, they just need to be smart. They just hit and shove. It's going to be a free kick. They do the right thing, tap and go, then get into them. Now that is a penalty. That is a penalty. Could have taken the points, could have taken the 3 points, the kick, a goal. They back themselves. Montpellier need to play smarter if they're going to win this.
Not 10. Could prove crucial. There's time for it all to change, though.
Onside.
White away again.
Onside.
Wilson's coming up for this. Tapped it back, but it's well watched. The club from France, Ouedraogo.
Great kick from White, gave his chasers every chance. Brilliant play.
Ouedraogo, the man who led them to the success in the final last season, the Challenge Cup. But that's a turnover for Northampton. And it's Dixon and Malander. Says, let's get down there. North flying after it to put some pressure on.
Stay blue,
Outside of the boot from Geoffrey Michel. He's coming back with Ben Foden. Northampton need to find something special here. Something that's going to win the game. Tom Wood. Myler. There's Hill. Did well to preserve that. It was Harrison. He didn't preserve it. Lost again in contact. And these are vital spillages and vital seconds.
Go back, stay back.
White. And away come Montpellier with the big man.
Vantage over!
Mind you, they've got a few of those. Here's another. O'Gara.
Vantage block
You
now!
know what I mean? Ndolo on the charge. One aside. But so too George North. and he goes over the top of the chip. North after this, it breaks away, but to who? Down went Dumoulin.
Lost now!
Northampton must keep their hands off this. Ruck is formed. That could have bounced anywhere. It really could. It's sharp tackle on Ouedraogo way. And listen to the crowd now, trying to get their team over that line, literally.
That's what George North can give you a moment of magic. They're struggling for form, Northampton, but when you've got Picamole and North, you can conjure something from nothing. Picks the ball up, lovely step, great pick up and go, acceleration. He's really unlucky with that ball that breaks away. And again, I think the Northampton chaser takes Dumoulin down when he's on the floor. He doesn't have a chance to get up.
Here's Clare. Oh, what a steal that is from Willemse. Had a fine match, the second row. Used his weight superbly. He's very agile with it. And he gets a lift, but he bends that body, ankle body, into good positions. There's Foden.
Ouedraogo has come on and been fantastic for Montpellier on the floor, in the tackle. Absolutely brilliant in the air, line-outs.
Waller. Dixon. Myler. Malander. Trying to keep in the hands now, not kick it away. Clock is starting to be very much against Northampton. 4 minutes to go now. Appy offloads, finds Wood. Dixon. It's not going to get long, and he has to release. Does. Hill. Myler. Very congested. Pickamoles of all people gives it away. And now here's a chance for Martin.
Back off Black, play on, advantage was over.
Advantage called over from the lost forward from Pickamoles, and Foden's done all he can do there. But then he kicks it.
Come back, White, come out!
Back with Myler. It's so tense now for Northampton. Wilson going long. Doesn't want to go too long, and doesn't. What's White's decision?
White, come back!
Still going to be live, and it's Pickamoles.
Backwards. Hold on.
Just lost a bit of a chance to gather momentum, but he's going now. Looked a little bit tired there. He's entitled to do so on a sapping evening. Appy should be fresh, and is fresh to the club and fresh to the match. Here's Myler. Malander. Ooh, nearly lost it. Myler again. Malander. Just want to try and engineer something. Drop goal or penalty would do. Doesn't have to be the glory try, but they have to get closer than this. North.
Too slow.
Dixon turned to the referee.
No release.
There's the penalty.
And Malander says, OK, I'll go for the Stein-like drop goal. It's not a bad effort. It almost got there. But Northampton will get the penalty now that could decide the match.
It's a fair old kick in these conditions. Greasy surface. You have to be very safe with your non-kicking foot. Malander looks as if he's come to say, let me smash this.
He stepped up before, and he's doing it again. Little tap there from Paul Diggin, former favourite here. Delivers the water. Nigel Owens right on top of where the penalty should be taken from.
He's about 20 metres further back than he was when he kicked a penalty at this stage of the game to beat Exeter a few weeks ago. It's long range, it would be a huge kick.
The son of the boss. And he's not going to get it. And it's all taken time.
I can't believe White has missed touch again. It's crazy.
It certainly is. It allows Wilson to come back. But it's craziness that Northampton might appreciate. It's another penalty. Dixon slapping away. Makes it so obvious for the ref, but Nigel Owen says you might as well play on. Dixon's not sure whether to. He likes where it is. It's closer in. And there's the Myler option from that range. Myler is ready himself for the kick. Whistle's gone. Some of the crowd on that far side haven't heard it.
Well, I don't know how much money Jake White has paid to bring Nick White over from the Brumbies in ACT, but that was madness. 2 minutes ago, he allowed Northampton to keep the ball for a minute and a half because he missed touch. Malinder misses the kick. He's got the equivalent of an eternity to put the ball out on the 10-metre line to reorganise their defence to close the game out. And he has gone and missed touch again. That is cardinal sin. Still a hard kick for Stephen Myler, but Myler's been there before and he's done this.
You know what, Stuart, that chase from